Jordyn got married, and who gives a fuck what Kylie wore? Let's talk about Serena is back on the court, and who gives a fuck if she lost? When somebody shows you who they are, you got to see them. I'm going to be the one to choose what's happening in my life. I wish I had a me from when I was young. What is in the dark shall be brought to the light. And when that bitch named Karma comes for you, she's going to find you. Hey, welcome to the pickup line. It is just me today. What an amazing day, and what a sad day. Dina's moving her daughter in, which is great news, but unfortunately we lost a legend. We lost one of my favorite human beings, who's such a good human on the planet, and that is Dolly Parton. So we are going to get into some hot topics. I cannot even imagine. It brought tears to my eyes when I found out Dolly is not with us anymore. You talk about a woman who touched so many lives, who spread her wings like an angel over so many children and people and causes, and she mixed nationalities. I mean, Dolly Parton, oh my God, you will be missed, totally missed. I can't even catch my breath when I talk about it. I was so shocked. It's like when Michael Jackson died, you remember exactly where you were when it happened. And I can just remember when my daughter called me and said Dolly Parton had passed. I mean, my prayers go out to her family, to her friends, to her loved ones, to all the charities she supported. Dolly Parton, you will be missed. Wow. Now let's get into some hot topics. Want to really talk about how beautiful Jordyn Woods was during her wedding. I thought she was absolutely amazing. I thought that Mindy Wise done a great job. I loved the invites. She was just radiant, and how well deserved. I mean, I felt like Jordyn is at the pinnacle of her youth. She's like grown into such an amazing woman. And I just don't even really want to feed into all the gibberish about Kylie Jenner. And I don't really care what she wore, because it was Jordyn's day. It was out of the town and into the woods. And I thought that was amazing. I thought she looked radiant. There was a couple guests that I was like, kind of like, I didn't really know where Jada Pinkett's hair was going, and I didn't really know what the bulletproof vest was on Jaden. But other than that, they wanted to pit Jordyn against Kylie, and I just thought it was just not even necessary. I didn't even think it was necessary. I thought it was a beautiful day, and shout out to them for doing it. Shout out to them for doing such an amazing thing, like getting married. And getting married before they had children, and doing it what some people would say the right way, because there's no right or wrong way to do it. But I just think that I have a lot of respect for the way they maintain their relationships. They've both endured some hard times, and I think together they overcame it and showed people that if you stick with your relationship, you can make it. Like you can do a multitude of things. Back to sad news, we have Hayden, who I absolutely loved in Nashville. I mean, you talk about a firecracker. She was just, amazing. Like, she was just awesome. And my heart goes out to everybody, because when we talk about depression and trauma, and we talk about families splitting up and no longer being together, nobody wins. I mean, her mom's not going to win. I don't care how many interviews she goes on and how much she tells the world, nobody gets to talk about my sorrow and how I feel. She is never going to get over the fact that she did not speak to her daughter before her death, because she can never talk to her again. And I just want to take a moment to say to families that are distant from one another, that are not talking, that are not forgiving, that are not loving on each other. Tomorrow's not promised for us. I think we need to get to the point where we can understand that forgiveness is okay. And no matter what somebody does to you, you still want to hear that person's voice upon death. And we've got to realize that death is very much a part of life. It is going to happen. It is going to happen to even the best of us. Look at Dolly Parton. It's going to happen to the nicest people that we know. It's unfortunate that it knocks on your door, but I think you should ask yourself the question, don't you want to be right when it happens? don't you want to have told your kids or your loved ones that you love them before it happens? I mean, we could talk about, I don't want toxicity in my life. I don't want people that don't mean me well in my life. I don't want those type of people around me. But what does that actually mean? Like, what does that mean? That means you don't want to talk to your daughter before she dies. You don't want to talk to your son. You don't want to kiss your grandbaby. You don't want to be around the people that are the most important to you. You don't want to share some of the most important times in your kids' lives or your mom's life or your sister's life because you're mad. Sorry, get the fuck over it. Get the fuck over being mad. Like, and grow the fuck up. Because one day your number is going to be called and you're not going to be here. And it doesn't matter who was on the boat with Peyton. It doesn't matter what was done to her anymore because she's in a much better place. But what matters is what we do while we're here. So when you start talking about the things that happened to her, I was looking at her on Jay Shetty, and she was saying that it was the first time in her life that she ever got to release some of that trauma and that tension that was in her. It was the first time in her life that she ever felt free. And she felt a little lighter by just saying that. And thank God she got that out before she passed. Thank God she let go of some of that dead weight before she passed, because there's a whole lot of men and women walking around with that type of trauma that don't get to get rid of it, that we don't know what to do with it, including myself, right? I'm no better than the next man. If we continue to walk around with the hatred and the trauma and the pain, it weighs us down. It's almost like, being thrown in a river with cinder blocks on. You can't catch yourself. You're just living a life in quicksand. And we don't want our young people to do that anymore. Like, go talk to somebody, get on a hotline. Like, she wrote a book, and we could talk about all the sexual conspiracies and the Epstein files and all the things that are going on. But really, what really matters is she got enough courage to finally speak up. And if that speaking up did cost her her life, I believe she thinks it's worth it. I believe she feels like, you know what? I'm going to get this story out, because if I get this story out, it's going to free me. So, unbeknownst to all these people that feel like keeping a secret is going to last, it doesn't work, because what is in the dark shall be brought to the light. And when that bitch named Karma comes for you, she's going to find you. She is absolutely going to find you. So, rest in peace. My prayers up for her family, her mother. If she was killed, I hope they find out who did it, because at some point we've got to say, you know what? Hey, sexual sin's not okay. Whether it's toward a man or toward a woman or child, it's not okay. And we got to do better. I mean, we just got to get to the point where we can do better. I want to say shout out to my girl playing tennis again. Serena's back on the court. She's doing her thing. She's being a mom. She's being a boss. She's handling her business, and she's back at the sport she loves. And I love that Serena said, I don't really care if I win. I've already won. I've already been at the pinnacle of my career. I've already done all the things that I wanted to do. I've already been basically that girl. And now I'm doing what I love. I thought that was awesome, because you have so many retired players that can't find themselves after retirement. They can't figure out who they are or what they're doing or how they live in or who they love. And this girl's like, you know what? This isn't about winning for me. This is about the sport I love, showing my daughter that I can go back to work and I can be a boss and I can be that woman, and still loving my husband and doing what I love to do. And I respect her for that. And I think that when you're a professional athlete and you reach the pinnacle of your career and you've had the highest of highs and your ego has been like a hot air balloon, when you're retired, you're trying to find yourself and figure out who you are and what you love. And at that point, you just go back to your passion. So if that's coaching, if that's mentoring, if that's, helping young boys figure out how to dribble a ball or throw a football, or young girls or boys how to swing a tennis racket, shout out to you, and shout out to you for doing something that you love, even though it's not going to maybe get you all the trophies you want. You're doing something you love and you're putting back into the community. and you're also making a difference in somebody's life. And isn't that what it's about? Like, I know this show isn't going to be full of juicy gossip and shit we talk about every day, but let's talk about elevating other people instead of just ourselves. Let's talk about Jordyn got married and who gives a fuck what Kylie wore. Let's talk about Serena is back on the court and who gives a fuck if she lost or if she's winning or if she's not. She's doing it. So I think if we get more into talking about doing it instead of complaining about the people that are doing it, we live such better lives. I think we do so well. I think Shaka Khan said, she was like, I'm so sick of people talking about she's for the LGBT community or she's not for them or she's whatever, questioning her sexuality. She's like, I'm fucking Shaka Khan. Who gives a shit what y'all say? Who cares who I'm for and who I'm not for? I'm still doing what I love. I'm singing. And I think that if we stop looking for the bad in people and start looking for the good in people, maybe our lives would elevate just a little bit. I was watching Khloe Kardashian's show, The Girls, and it was so funny because it's like a sea of friendships, but then there's always some drama in the back. And when Jordyn got married, I kind of thought, Kylie's there. I know people are wondering why she's there. I can see Jordyn forgiving her and saying, hey, just come to the wedding, be a part of it. But I can't really see her ever trusting her again. And the reason I say that is because when somebody shows you who they are, you got to see them. And at the time, they all wanted to say that Jordyn wanted Tristan so bad and Jordyn couldn't get her own man. Jordyn has come out with a knight in shining armor and fucked all of them up. She got her man. She got her man before they all did. Not one Kardashian has their man but Kourtney. And I kind of thought, I don't know if I would have invited her to my wedding at all. I don't really want to give her that much thought because it just doesn't even matter. I don't know. I don't know if Kylie's still relevant, if she's not relevant. I know that she was trying to be relevant with the dress that she wore. I can't really put my finger on it because I know at the time, I think the Smiths had to call the Kardashians and tell them to back up off of Jordyn. I wonder how that scene kind of went down with Jada seeing Kylie at the wedding. I wonder how Jordyn's mom feels about the forgiveness of Kylie. I'm not saying don't forgive her because then that will contradict everything I've said in this show in the beginning. I'm not saying that Jordyn should not forgive her, but I am saying that Jordyn, if she were my daughter, I would keep her an arm's length distance. Like I would, how they say sometimes you should keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Maybe that's what Jordyn's doing. Maybe Jordyn's like, I'm in a whole new phase of my life and, it really doesn't matter. But when I watch the games and during the NBA finals and the championships, Kylie was all over Jordyn. And I don't know if they've ever talked about whatever happened in their relationship. If Jordyn was my daughter, I would still tell her to still stay reluctant from the whole family. Because it wasn't just Kylie that came for Jordyn. The whole family came for Jordyn. And I think it's noble for her to have forgiven them. But I think she just needs to sleep with one eye open when it comes to that friendship. Because I can't say that she's 100% genuine. Right? I mean, I just can't. I mean, and we don't want history to repeat itself because it could happen. And it's unfortunate that happens in friendships. It's good that they can get it back together, but I'm still questioning it. I'm still going to question it. I don't know. But oh my God, I will say this. One of my favorite people is Hailey Bieber. And that girl is absolutely beautiful. When I seen her in those pictures, I'm like, look at Hailey. She always has on like an outfit like, you know what? I'm not trying to walk in and shut it down. And I'm not walking in to shut down the bride. I'm just coming in, me, confident, loving my man, loving my boy, supporting my girl. And I mean, shout out to Hailey Bieber because I think she's absolutely beautiful and a class act. I also thought that Nick and Orlandria, first of all, at first I wasn't a Love Island fan, but now I'm a Love Island fan after this season. I love Anaya and I love Brennity. I mean, I love all of them. But let's go back to Orlandria. I thought they broke up, But they were at the wedding and they looked amazing. And Mindy Wise did amazing. It was like a fairy tale. But I want to just say this too. I know I'm all over the place. I love the fact that Jordyn had to get the suit made and he hadn't even seen the suit and he just completely trusted her with it. I love the fact that her dress was Cinderella style because she kept it classy and I mean, she just looked radiant. I did want to say, I have to be honest, I wanted the bun a little slicker, just a little bit slicker. I know I sound like a hater and I don't want to sound like a hater, but the bun could have been just a little bit slicker, but I think she's beautiful anyway. She's just naturally pretty. But can we just say Gayle King be everywhere? I mean, Gayle, she just puts Oprah down. Like Gayle just be like, she be at places Oprah ain't never at. Like Gayle is on the A list every single time. She's at the weddings, she's at the concerts, she's at the plays, she's at the shows, she's at the dinners. Okay, Gayle King, you got it. You get the A-lister red carpet and you look nice. You looked really, really good. I think, with all the talk about Jordyn Woods and having her fairy tale wedding. And I think a lot of women that have probably dated their boyfriends for 5 or 6 years or have been engaged for quite a long time, which was myself at one point in time. I think that a lot of these women are now thinking, do I want to be married? Don't I want to be married? We've been engaged so long. Is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? And I think women are just have come to a point where it's like, I could take it or leave it. I could take marriage or leave marriage. We look at marriages like Justin Bieber and Haley, and they made it. They're doing a great job to be so young. But I think that once women are a certain age, they could take marriage or leave it. I was looking at Tracy Ellis Ross talk about this, and I was thinking, my God, what a wedding that would be if Tracy Ellis Ross ever got married. But she was like, for so long, I was thinking maybe I wanted to be chosen. And now I don't. Now I want to do the choosing. And so when we look at these fairy tale weddings, and that's something that every little girl dreamed of, now some women are like, I don't dream of this. Like, I am okay if I don't get it. Like, I'm still going to pay my bills. I'm still going to go on my trips. I'm going to cultivate good friendships with women. And maybe I won't get married because you got to think about, I sometimes think about that's extra time. That's time you got to spend with people, checking on people's schedules. And when women get a certain age, like my girl Halle Berry, happy birthday, Halle Berry. I flipping loved her 60th birthday. It was absolutely out of control. Wait, when they were dancing, I think it was Switch or El DeBarge. I can't remember which one it was. They'll never be a perfect love. Said they'll never be. I was like, oh my God, I love them. And she announced her wedding. I think that I love that Halle Berry was like, she wasn't pushing to get married again, but she is engaged and she slid it out on a talk show and she was like, my man of 6 years, Van, he asked me to marry him. And somebody in the crowd was like, boo, boo. And she was like, and they were like, I hope you told him no. I hope you told him no. She said, I told him yes, but I didn't have a date. And I love that. Like, I love that she was like, yes, but I don't have a date. But right now, I'm doing this for me. All of this relationship is about me. And she lets everybody publicly know I'm celebrating my womanhood. I'm celebrating the fact that I'm getting older. I'm celebrating the fact that I'm making a choice on this marriage this time. Me. I'm not rushing into it. I'm not pressured into it. I look absolutely drop dead fucking gorgeous. I'm dancing in the sunset. I'm in Fiji for 40 days and 40 nights with my man, and I'm living my best life. And that is power to me. That is like authentic power because for so long we're waiting to be chosen, waiting to be called, waiting for our number. You got badass women like Tracy Ellis Ross, like saying, now I'm going to be the chooser. And that was Holly. She's like, I'm going to do the choosing. I'm going to do what I want to do. And if I want to dance with my man, drink red wine, be on the beach and take bikini pics, God help me, I'm doing it. I fucking love it. I thought her 60th birthday was amazing. I thought that her going public and saying, you know what? I have a ring, but I don't have a date. It's okay. And I love that. I love that Tracy Ellis Ross is like, I'm going to be chosen. I'm going to be the chooser, pardon me. I'm going to be the one to choose what's happening in my life. And I love that Jordyn has her happily ever after. I think that women now, we get to make our choices. We get to have it all. We get to decide what we want to do. The sky's the limit. Let's go. Sometimes I get so caught up into, just because I'm in middle age myself, I get caught up into these women living their best lives. And then I get caught up in the younger women wanting to live their best lives because my kids are young. And so I love looking at all these people flourish. I love that women are coming into their own power, even with Hayden. And she was talking about, I'm finally being able to get all of this trauma and all these things off my chest. She said, I feel like I can breathe. I feel like it's like, I feel like I have like a breath of fresh air. I love that. And the reason I love that is because we need to talk about these things. We need to talk about these topics. We need to talk about moms going back to work like Serena Williams. We need to talk about, hey, I'm not going back because I want another trophy. I'm going back because it's who I am and it's what I love. You guys, if we can start having open dialect about important things in our lives and not thinking that keeping our lives are a secret is like a big deal. I can't let everybody know my business. Sometimes talking about it and getting it out, inventing what you think may be your business in a private subject may really, really help you. So if there's other topics you guys want to talk about, like Dina taking her daughter to school, and is she nervous? Is she not? She's going a couple states over and she's actually leaving her daughter for the first time in a whole different state to sleep in a whole nother house without her mom. I mean, if you guys want to talk about those things, let me know. Let me know about other topics that really matter to you, like raising your kids or the kids going on the first day of school or turning 60 and getting a new man or living your best life or even that fairy tale wedding. I'm open with it. I'm open to it. And I wish I had a me from when I was young. I wish I had somebody that's like an auntie like me to just say and give advice on life and things that are happening, like to talk about a modest, beautiful wedding dress where you can walk down the aisle like Cinderella. Let's talk about it. So if you guys have other subjects you want to talk about, we could talk more about Dolly Parton next week once we find out what happened. I just, she never had children of her own. We can talk about that. We can talk about women that decided they don't want kids. Like, that's okay too. You don't have to have kids. You don't have to have a husband. And if you want kids and you want a husband, have it. Let's get into the meat and like maybe have hot topics every week and we can talk about some of these things. And if you guys comment in the DMs or send me a message, or if you know me, DM me. If you have subjects you want to talk about, let's do it. We could talk about step parenting. I'm open. And guess what? When Dina's not here, there's a chair open. Have a good day.